Good evening and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be getting into Summerslam Custom Elites, and you think that would be already too early to get the going? Nah, they already started it. Tons of great customizers in the figure community putting things together. And we also got some bonuses, man. We're going to be stepping also outside of the SummerSlam pay-per-view event and get into some other work that has been played out. Before we do, though, we're going to start out hot right there with your boy BEW. And he put out tons of them, you guys. I'm talking about Edge. I'm talking about Beastie. And wait until we get to the round. You won't believe as to what he had all put together. And I know that's saying quite a bit when you have an Edge executed no different than his earlier days, right? Who remembers? It was him, Attitude Era, it was the Brood. There was no Gangrel in the building, but you can genuinely feel that he was very much present there with the actual entrance jacket. That's right, he brought the cup, he brought the blood. There was even fangs. Now the beard too, it also had to been amplified, and since it is Ultimate Edition, he also took care of once you do take off the jacket, right? Because otherwise, how else are you gonna know if he can throw down, right? I mean, you can prep him for the spear. The man can always be ready, but when it comes down to the point of execution, I think it was all captured. Very well done, BEW. This guy's a beast. And speaking of the beast, let's go ahead and bring up the man that came out here, stole the show, right? It was a hot weekend. Like SummerSlam weekend was one of the greatest, not just for WWE, but also AEW. And the answer to your question is yes, absolutely. We will get into some AEW as well, but I want to bring up Beast because here's the thing, right? If he's going to be up here challenging the big dog, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, he's gonna need that. He's gonna need the beard. He'll need the little extra thing going on top of the head, which I believe they call it a man, but you know what? The farmer don't know no different, and he's gonna bring his farm duties right there to the table, man. It's so freaking clean. Really like how this all came out. The shading too, if you do look at the shading effect on the beard, you can tell that a little bit of True FX was implemented, not with technology, but with the man's brush. Now for Rollins, we're going to talk about Mr. Rollins right here because a lot of people were like, Hero Fix, what the hell is this man wearing? I'll tell you one thing he wasn't wearing was something that we're normally used to, right? The superhero theme. Today, he brought a little bit of the pirate, man. He brought the taste of back of me hand. He's got it all wrapped up. And as far as like the nitty gritty, right? Like once you get into the actual gear, so well done, man. My biggest question was when someone ends up making this custom, is it going to be coming out the way that it did right here in the tights? And I think BEW managed to capture it because the biggest thing that I noticed about the gear was the way that the outline work was done. If you look at the actual detail, this had to take some creativity behind it, and I think BEW, he definitely killed it. And there it is, man. For those that were wondering, side-by-side comparison confirmed. Drop a like, you guys, if you guys are thinking that this is something that Mattel should be putting out, because as far as what I'm picking up, dude, hot stuff right now. Hopping into a little bit of AEW, Malachi Black has made the debut in the mask. Oh, I loved it. I think just about 99.9% of everybody that tuned in on AEW that night, you knew that this was going to be something that was going to be special. Not thrown under the table or under the rug, similar to what WWE was doing, but no, this is a grand slam, home run, like the look, the whole theme of it, it's going to work well, and you damn well know that it's going to be able to do something right there within the roster. Now, I know a lot of people were not a fan of this as far as Mr. Cross, but look, I think we all knew that this was coming. You get called up, your main roster, you're going to be looking like this guy. And no, I ain't talking about the custom because the custom itself, you guys, love it. Great creativity. The mask ended up coming out perfect. The whole cross pattern, this is kind of based off that old school medieval theme. So, I mean, if you're into that era, sure, yeah, people will love it. But if you know what the hell they've been doing with all these other guys that they've done so far, you ain't gonna like it. My whole thing is that, look, before he does end up getting the release, because that's usually the beginning step. You get called up, you say, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna be a jobber. You're supposed to be a mid-carder moving on to the main top card, but at this point, beyond the North, the only thing we can do right now is hold our tongue on this. Now, Tarver 89, I'm gonna dab into a little bit of Attitude Era within this video. This is definitely worth the mention because Austin, special moment. When you're alongside the Cerebral Assassin, you need two things. One, you need the blessing of the old man. Two, Stephanie McMahon's got to be cool with it. And was she cool with it? Absolutely, you guys. This was during the run, right? Both of them tag team champions, carrying the top title titles in the company, the whole Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, very much alive during this gear. And this kind of goes for Jericho, because this was the transition man that had come over from WCW and captured the big one. And big one did Mac Decals brought, man. Really cool. One of my personal favorite things about this was Jax, because Jax, I think still to this date, Mattel cannot hold that candle. At least when you're talking about Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah, they just did it a lot better. And having both titles at hand, beautiful touch right there, right? We got the promo after he had captured the belts. How are we going to do it? Bring the jacket, bring the fire, because the flames, oh, we're going to burn it down with Showstopper as well. Because look, you guys already know how I feel about my ICP. Only 2 lads that are missing right there with the whole custom gig that we've been doing with these guys. And this would be just a nice little extra, right? To round it all up, bring it as a whole, and bring an Attitude Era Figgy roster up to date. Now, as far as current, you guys, I told you, Apollo Crews, the man, he's got the new look. Elite Series 87 was a great figure, but it wasn't based as to what Rocket Jabroni brought right here, right? We need the current. All we need to do is the side-by-side, and I'm sure someone's going to eventually develop that in the community. DWO, I know you had brought it up, so waiting on that for sure, my guy. Hopping back into some AEW, Ivy's Custom, such a good execution right here. As an overall team right here, always a dangerous threat. But when you bring them together, once they're in the ring, you're going to know as to what they're going to do moving on with the future, you guys. These guys are the future. Yes, Jericho, he's a little bit in the later days, but you know he's going to be able to lead these guys in the right direction. Now, Pentagon Jr., here it is. Joker, all right, it worked for Rey Mysterio. Now the question is it going to work for the man right here in AEW, kind of running the game when it comes to whether it's tag team division, whether it's singles, really like as to what he did. Bringing the whole freaking Joker look, it's working well, man. The purple, the greens, they are all working perfect combination to bring potentially one of the best customs. When you talk about AEW, when you talk about the Pentagon man, this is it for me, my friends. Now, wrapping it up, DWO bringing you an early sample of what AEW Unrivaled series should be bringing within the next sets. Brody Lee's a top card figgy. It's got to happen. It didn't manage to carry through the rest of the career because this man lived a short life, you guys. RIP to one of the late grades. And of course, you guys, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought of the Summerslam customs. BEW always on the hot trail, as well as all the great customizers that did join in today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.